Dame Helen, I believe we're soon to see you in a film about Tolstoy,
yes.
And I wondered if you could discuss...
Also very funny, yeah. Incidentally.
Wondered if you could discuss your thoughts on the responsibility of playing real people, people who have existed, and whether, as well as a responsibility, this sometimes means a restriction artistically in what you can do, lest offence is caused.
Just a second. Il film che ha citato il collega si chiama The Last Station e ha nel cast, oltre alla signora Mirren, anche un giovane attore in questo momento molto popolare, James McAvoy, che è scozzese come Mr. Miller.
Of course.
Yes, it is, of course. I mean, obviously, especially with playing the Queen, the responsibility was massive. And I couldn't get that wrong, you know. And it was very, very intimidating and very frightening. I've always said in my career up to playing the Queen, I will never play anyone living or recently dead, because you can't win. You're either not going to be, you'll never be as good as they are at being themselves, so you'll always fail on some level. And if you're very good, then people will start identifying you with that character. So you can't really win. But in the case of Sofia Tolstoy, it's taken from a wonderful book called The Last Station by J. Paganini. And so it's already a work of art, if you like. It's not a documentary. Although I think he tried to be as historically accurate and true to the character as possible. And certainly the Tolstoy estate were very involved in advising for the film, and that sort of relationship is very important if you're doing a film like this. I'm not a believer in the Stone, thank you. Weird connection there. Oliver Stone approach that history is just something you can take and use, you know, to your own advantage. I believe there has to be some sort of historical accuracy. I do believe that. And certainly when we did Elizabeth I, we tried very hard for historical accuracy, within the fact that you're doing 20 years in, you know, 4 hours of story, so everything's tightened. But the historical accuracy, and in fact, the wonderful British historian, whose name escaped me just for a second, I'll think of it in a moment, but he gave us, he said this is the most historically...
Story?
I'm sorry?
Story?
Story.
Story, was it Story? The historian, no? S-T-O-R-R-E-Y, no?
No, Story, no. He does television, wonderful, you know who I mean. We'll think of his name in a minute. But he said it was the most historically accurate Elizabeth he'd ever seen, which was a great compliment and very important to me.
Prego.
Chiaro Guini, Repubblica TV. Signora Mirren, lei prima diceva che è un'appassionata di cinema italiano, volevo chiederle a che registi faceva riferimento, se conosce i giovani registi italiani che recentemente sono andati molto bene a Cannes e se per caso vorrebbe fare un film in Italia.
Rifare un film in Italia?
Sì.
Perché abbiamo già...
Now you put me on the spot, you know. I mean, obviously the old masters I'm more familiar with. I have seen wonderful young Italian filmmakers. There's a young filmmaker actually in Puglia called Winspear, who, you know, is a very interesting young filmmaker. And, you know, many young filmmakers in Italy, and I've watched the results of their work with incredible pleasure, but I'm sorry that I'm not able just to come up with their names right now. My husband certainly would be able to. But I think Italian cinema, well, you know, Italian cinema has always been, I know we all complain, and I'm sure you all complain, oh, it's Italian cinema, it's terrible, it's in the toilet, it's all over, or oh, it's a renaissance, it's wonderful, because, you know, each year it's like this. But in reality, the consistency of Italian cinema from the 30s to now, Italian cinema has absolutely consistently been interesting, has been beautiful to look at, has been radical, has been challenging, has been everything that a cinema culture should be, has been entertaining. So, you know, you Italians should feel proud of your cinematic tradition. It certainly, as you're aware, is very influential in the global sense. There is no respectable and respected filmmaker existing in the world of filmmaking that doesn't pay homage to the Italian film art and history. So you should feel proud of it, and I know you all support it, but I certainly hope the government supports it.
Allora, la collega dell'Ansa, poi andiamo